What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down the best route runner in college football, which I believe is Jordan Addison. So he is going to be going to USC next year. He transferred from Pitt, and I think some of the routes that he runs, some of the things that he does tie hand in hand with the stuff that we teach on this channel. So hope this video helps you guys out. Hope you can learn a few things from his game and how he's able to structure his route running. But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to know the specific drills you need to do on the field to improve your route running, your press releases, but a little bit more on the advanced side of things, check out that very first link in the description below for our 4-week wide receiver on-field workout schedule 2.0. So we give you over 100 plus drills, fellas, but they're more advanced drills for guys who are more experienced at the wide receiver position. So if you feel like that's you, you still need to improve your game, check out that very first link in the description below for some more info on that. We give you everything mapped out with sets and reps. Let's get started. So first route is going to be from Addison. He's out of the slot right here, and he's going to be running a Slugo route. So I think this is like a textbook double move that a lot of people, especially younger wide receivers, are not able to run, right? So when he runs this route, and again, we have like off coverage. It is tough to get separation on a double move when you have about maybe, I would say 5 yards, well, maybe not 5 yards, but a few yards of space between this guy. It's a lot easier to get separation on a double move when you have coverage like this at the top of the screen. So you really have to emphasize selling the route. You really have to snap your head around. You have to commit your hips, your shoulders, and you have to run hard. One of the main keys that a lot of people get wrong about running a double move is that they think it's all about the eyes. You hear the phrase all the time, your eyes will tell lies. But I'm going to tell you this right now, a DB, especially in off-man coverage, is he supposed to be looking at your eyes? No, he is not. Eyes certainly help the case, but to get you separation, you got to have speed on the first break. You have to run in full stride, but you have to commit your upper half. That is where a lot of wide receivers will go wrong. They'll break on a double move. They'll take these 3 steps like Addison does, but their left, in this case, their left shoulder and their left hip is almost like drifting upfield. They're almost like turning, cheating the route, like they're trying to round out of it. They're trying to get out of it before their foot even gets into the grass. All great route runners don't cheat the break. They commit to the break. They have their hips and their shoulders fully committed on this 45 degree to sell like they are running a slant, and they're able to put the brakes on and get some separation. Now, one of the main keys about this also, fellas, is stride length. So when you guys come off and you run like a Slugo route, right? So that's 3 steps up, 3 steps on the slant, then we're putting the foot in the ground, getting back upfield. I always try to emphasize with my receivers that we are pushing off of that 3rd step when it hits the grass because we need to keep full stride. DBs, when they're expecting a double move, or at least what DB coaches teach, is to look for those choppy steps right before a break because that's an indicator. So what a lot of guys will do is they'll break off that 3rd step and they won't gain any ground. You see, he's breaking right here and he's at like the bottom of the numbers and he gets all the way to the top of the numbers. He is gaining ground. A lot of wide receivers will cut at the bottom of the numbers and they'll never pass the top of the numbers. They'll take 3 choppy steps. They'll look back with their eyes because that's what they think is the only important thing, and that DB will not jump. Fellas, you have to commit your upper half. You have to run full speed, and you got to run in full stride. Everything about that at that point looks like a slant. Could he have sold with his eyes a little bit better? Absolutely. But you still see we're able to get separation by just running hard and just committing my pad level. Those are the 2 most important things. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by Addison. Very smooth route, is able to get separation. I think the ball was just maybe a little bit underthrown. I get the situation, though, because it is a tighter situation closer to the goal line. All right, so now, second route here I want to talk about with him is against this inside leverage off coverage, I guess you can say about 5 yards inside shade on the goal line. So this shows, I think Addison has a very high football IQ. And I think this rep shows that. So let's play at full speed. So he's just running a slant route. And this is a tough situation to run a slant route against because he's inside shaded. A lot of wide receivers, what they'll do is they don't know what to do. So they'll just take 3 steps and try to run in front of this DB. That DB is going to get hands. He will be right on your hip because that is his sole purpose of being inside leverage, is to protect the leverage. But he is on the goal line. So let's play this thing full speed. So he attacks his leverage, gives him a move outside, and then is able to win on this slant route and get a step on him. That is all the separation you need on the goal line because it's such tight quarters. So now, when we go here, if this guy was a little bit closer, like let's say he was maybe like 2 to 3 yards off and he was inside shade, what do you think you would do? You'd want to attack his outside shoulder. So you'd want to go 3 hard steps. They call that a diamond release, where you just go right at his outside shoulder. You go left, right, left. You get him to bail out of there, commit to the fade, and we slip back under to win on the slant. But since I'm running like a 3-step slant, it's a quick slant, it's quick game, we're in the red zone, I can't like attack him and then go take 3 steps to the outside because that would take too long. So what Addison decides to do is he decides to square up this DB and attack his leverage. Now, normally, if you guys were like in, I guess you could say like open space, like let's say he was a little bit closer and it wasn't the goal line, and this DB was 2 to 3 yards off. If you just tried to attack him and then take off and run, he's inside leverage. He's going to get hands on you. If you attack him, all he is going to do, this DB, if he's closer, is weave to the inside and you're going to end up running the slant right into him. But since we are on the goal line, this is what I'm saying about having a high-level route running IQ, we know that this DB is not going to do what on the goal line? He's not going to backpedal, right? So this is a time where I can square him up because I know he's going to sit right there. So that's what Addison does. He squares him up right here. He gives himself a gap, throws a little head and shoulder fake to the outside because all we need is this DB to hesitate. Now, DBs are taught not to backpedal on the goal line because if they backpedal or they weave to the inside, you could literally just hook up right there and we could throw you a quick pass and that's an easy touchdown. So they're taught to stand their ground on the goal line. So fellas, if you have like inside shade coverage where that DB's heels are on the goal line, you got to run a slant. Don't just run into him. Let's attack him. Let's square him up and give him a fake to the outside to get him to hesitate so I could cross his face and still maintain timing with my QB and beat this DB by just even a step because that is all that matters. That is a textbook route there on the goal line from Addison. That is why I believe, again, one of the best route runners in college football because he's got that high-level IQ. He knows what works, and he knows how to structure his routes. Fellas, when you get to this next level, everybody's fast, everybody's big, everybody's a good athlete. But what separates guys at that next level is having this kind of IQ, knowing how to run routes because every single DB that you play is going to be a good athlete. Let's play this thing again, full speed. Great job attacking him, giving that move outside, and then winning on that slant route. All right, so now this is a practice clip from him. And again, this brings me back to having a high route running IQ, right? So you see where he's lined up. We got a situation where he has maybe like a head up coverage DB, like maybe a little bit shaded to the inside, and he's going to be running a post route. So very similar to the situation we just talked about. I'm going to play this thing full speed. Now I want to talk about his ability to sell vertical on this route and knowing how to stem a DB. So fellas, if you have a guy who's inside shade, right? What was his whole purpose? To protect the inside. He does not want you to go to the inside. So a lot of people think when I have inside shade coverage and I got to run a post route, all I got to do is attack his leverage very similar to the last clip and give him a 1-2 and then cut in front of his face. But fellas, when it's open space, this DB 1,000% of the time can backpedal and he can weave to the inside. So if you attack his leverage inside, what do you think he's going to do? Keep his leverage. And then if you have to run an inside breaking route, you're going to run right into him. So what you would want to do is you'd want to attack his outside shoulder. Now, Addison does a great job of doing this, but that's simple. Like, hey, just angle your stem at the outside shoulder. Plenty of guys do that, but they don't get separation. What he's able to do is he's able to sell like he is just trying to run outside the entire way. Selling vertical, as we say. Every route's a fade until it's not a fade. So when he's running this, what are some things you think that sell fade? One, you have to run hard. You got to be, I'm not saying you got to be faster than the DB, but you got to be running hard. You got to be running as hard as you can to get him to move off of that platform. Number two, you got to have a good pad level. What a lot of wide receivers will do is they'll run, they'll sell fade, but right before they put that foot in the ground, they raise up with their chest. DB is supposed to be watching what? Supposed to be watching your hips. So as soon as he sees you raise up, he's sitting on the route. So you got to make sure that we keep the same pad level. I should be able to take a picture of you at 5 yards and a picture of you at 15 yards. And it's the exact same picture. Now, the last thing that we talked about this on the double move, choppy strides. A lot of wide receivers will try to do this. They'll try to attack a shoulder of a DB. They'll run out, but their strides right before the break get choppy. DB settles and he's all over this route. Or he just flips his hips and he's able to drive on this thing. So fellas, if you can do those three things, post route versus inside shade off man, I run hard, I run in full stride, and I maintain a good pad level, we can get this DB to flip his hips, and we could slip back underneath and win on this route, plus give the QB space to throw me open. That's a textbook route there by Addison. Again, another sure example of why he might be one of the best route runners in college football, and why, in my opinion, he is the best route runner. Excited to see what he does at USC this year. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. I always appreciate the feedback. It's always great to hear from you guys as usual. And again, fellas, if you'd like to get a 4-week wide receiver route running press release catching training schedule, every single drill and exercise mapped out with a video explanation behind each drill, check out that very first link in the description below. I'll see you guys next time.